Let me just go ahead and take a sip of tea for this one because we need to talk. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Mamas at Home. My name is Tierra Lorray, and today we are going to be having a different kind of conversation. We are going to be discussing co parenting the mature way. Let me first say, I am not coming to you from a place of perfection. That will never be my ministry. However, I am coming to you from a place of experience and a place of observation. And based on what it is I'm observing, a lot of you are going to friends who are giving you terrible advice. You're going to parents who are incredibly biased. And what it all boils down to, the ones who are suffering the most are the children. And I think these are the conversations that we need to be having more often because a lot of us are out here trying to navigate these situations and we don't know what to do or how to do it because we're so tied up in our emotions that we're making matters worse. And as a co parent of four children, I have done it all wrong to a point where I think I've gotten it down where now I'm able to say that I'm doing the majority of it right. So, what I can say to you is this: I guarantee you that if you use the tips that I am getting ready to give you, if you're using them not because you want to see a desired outcome out of someone else, but because you want to do better and you want to become better, I can guarantee you that your co parenting relationship will change. Now, y'all ready? Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. Number one, get your emotions under control. Get a grip. Get a grip. Find it. Hold it. Hold the grip. Everything does not deserve an emotional response. Everything should not have you in your feelings. Everything should not have you spiraling out of control. There is a certain level of emotional intelligence and emotional maturity that is necessary when co-parenting. First of all, we should just have it throughout every area of our lives, and it's something that I am still working to strengthen. But you have got to get a grip of your emotions. Otherwise, this will not work. If you cannot do this, the majority of the steps I'm getting ready to give you are not going to work from you because you're too emotional and you're spiraling at every little thing that's said, at every little thing that is said to get under your skin. You have got to get a control. Here is what I have done for myself. I put a cap on my anger and in any situation because as someone with a temper, I know that 0 to 4,000 with me. So I had to put a cap on how angry I will allow myself to get. You need to decide within yourself that you are not going to allow someone to get a rise out of you. That is 100% your decision, and you are the only person who can do that. In addition to that, how can we as a parent set a good example for our children if we lack self control? If we cannot control our own emotions, our own feelings, our own behaviors, how do we set an example for them? Proverbs 25:8 says, like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self control. Your lack of self control is a liability. The minute somebody says something you don't like, you fly off the handle. Now you got smoke coming out your ears on a Tuesday because you don't know how to handle yourself and you don't know how to rationalize when somebody is being petty or when somebody is trying to trigger you. You don't know how to talk yourself down. That is not a good look. And it is not a good look when your child has to watch you act a donkey because you don't know how to control yourself. Get your emotions under control. It is absolutely okay for you to feel what you feel and let it pass. That's what I tell my kids. Feel your emotions, let them pass. Acknowledge them, acknowledge why you feel them, and let them pass. You do not have to react every time you feel away. And the majority of the time in co parenting situations, when things get out of hand, is because one or both of you do not know how to control your emotions. Get a grip, get yourself in check. Okay? Moving on to number two. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Come here. Come here. It is not about you. It is not about you. The amount of selfish, self serving behaviors I see from adults in co parenting situations, their feelings, their wants, their needs, to where they're completely blinded to the needs and the well being of their children is unacceptable. Your child can't talk to their parent because they made you feel some kind of way. your child can't talk to their parent or see their parent because you don't like what they said to you on Tuesday in 1987. They can't see them. They can't spend time with them. You might not like what I'm getting ready to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. How can you say that you love your child when the needs of your child is constantly coming second to yours because you can't get out of your feelings and do what's in the best interest of your child? I'm going to speak to women specifically on this one. There's so many women that I know who are using their child as a pawn. They won't allow their children to see their father. They won't allow the father to be in that child's life. They won't allow that child, the father to come around. They won't allow the father to do anything. They program and brainwash a child into believing that that parent does not care about them, all because he wasn't the kind of man that you wanted in a relationship. Not that he doesn't love the child, not that he doesn't want what's best for your child and he doesn't want to be in your child's life. You use your child to get back at that man because you know that's the only way that you can hurt him. But what a lot of you fail to realize, why I do not know, is that you are hurting your child more than you're hurting anybody. Let me explain something to you. You can be 100% of a mother. You will still never be that child's father. That child needs their father just as much as they need you. And if you are getting in the way of that child having a relationship with their father, you are the one that's causing the pain here. You are hurting your child because you cannot put your feelings and your emotions on the back burner and swallow your pride and leave your ego outside to do what is best for your child. You got to get that together, because one day that child is going to get older. And once that child begins to realize that you were the reason why they had that hole in their hearts, because the hole that their father should have filled, because you couldn't get out of your feelings and allow that man to play the part that he needed in that child's life, you are going to have an issue on your hand. And you are going to have an issue that you deserve on your hands, because again, it's not about you. It is no longer about you. It wasn't even all about you in the relationship. So it sure isn't about you out of the relationship. You need to get out of the way. That baby, those babies need their father. Now, I feel like I need to say this because I already know it's going to be at least one or a few of y'all. Well, he's abusive. Let me say something. If in fact you or that child's life is in danger, I am not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. So I'm gonna need you to slide over here, move out the way for the ones that I'm actually talking to, and you know who you are. If you love your child the way you say you do, show them and give them everything that it is that they need, and they need their dad. It's not about you. And the minute you start wanting to talk about your thoughts and feelings, time and a place. You need to be able to compartmentalize your emotions and feelings, move them out the way, and the emotions and feelings and the needs of your child need to come first all the time, every time. And I stand on that 10 toes. We standing on business when it comes to these children needing their daddies. Number 3, communicate like the adult that you are. We are not children, and yet a lot of us communicate like children. Let me read you something. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man or a woman, I put away childish things. That's 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. We are grown men and women. There is no reason in the world we should not be communicating like we are grown men and grown women. The cattiness, the pettiness, the low blows, the argumentative, condescending tones, get rid of it. There's so many things that we do because, again, we feel some kind of way that is making our situations far worse than they have to be. Learn how to communicate like an adult, straight to the point, what's needed, ask your questions, get your answers, you answer, handle things like adults. And another thing, stop communicating through your children. You are putting so much unnecessary stress onto the backs of children who love you both. You're putting them in the middle of situations they have no business being in. Tell him I said this. Well, tell her I said this. Well, tell him he ain't doing this. And tell her I said Are we serious? Is this what we doing at our big ages? Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. I've seen on many occasions the children are actually more mature than the adults. And that is unfortunate because we are the ones who are supposed to be guiding them and helping them and making sure they're okay. What so many of you fail to realize is your children feel the impact of your separation. Children pick up on energy. They know when something's wrong with you, they know when something's wrong with them, and they're already stressed and going through within themselves. Why would you, as a parent, add to that? Why? That is immature and that is selfish. Again, this goes back to putting the needs and the emotions and the well being of your child before your own. Also, under the umbrella of communication, because there's a few different points that we're going to talk about, watch your mouth. Who you talking to like that? Who you talking to? That's not even ladylike. Don't be talking to that man like that. Sometimes we forget that we are dealing with humans who have emotions and stressors and traumas and different things that they're going through, people who have bad days. Like we are all humans having a very human experience. And the popping off all the time, popping off at all, honestly, it's not necessary. And another thing about that for me is not only do I have a responsibility to my child to carry myself a certain way, but I also have a responsibility to my faith as a believer. We are called to be a light and to shine our light. And it's really easy to shine a light when things are going well and when it's convenient. But we're not just called to shine our lights when it's convenient. We're also called to shine our lights in times that's difficult, in times where you gotta really, that's when your real self-control comes in to where it's like you still have to lead by example no matter who it is you're talking to. And sometimes you may have to be the person that changes first. Somebody has to be, my mom used to say this all the time, somebody has to be the adult. Somebody has to be the one to communicate first. And you would be surprised. And when you change the way you conduct yourself and you change the way you communicate, more often than not, once the person on the receiving end sees it as genuine and you're actually trying and you're actually doing the work and you are actually changing, you would be surprised at how they also begin to change. And a lot of situations that I found myself in, when I began to do the work within myself and change how I respond to things and how I speak to people, I'm not, no matter what they say to me, and we'll get into that in a little bit, I'm never disrespectful. I'm not calling you out your name. I'm not raising my voice at you. I'm not arguing with you because I now handle myself that way. Even in co-parenting, you almost can't respond to me in a petty rah rah kind of way because I don't even give you the opportunity to do so. And if you do, you would pretty you're gonna feel like a fool. After a certain point, you're gonna feel foolish. So check yourself, check your behaviors, check your conduct, and check how you're communicating because a lot of times the way you're communicating is the reason why you're getting a certain energy back. And allow me to touch back on the changing just for a moment because I want to make sure I stress this. There is a difference between changing because you really want to change within yourself for yourself and changing temporarily because you want to see how a person will respond or because you want to get a certain reaction out of somebody or, well, I'm going to do this for a little bit, but if they don't respond within the time I feel like they should respond, I'm going to revert back. This is not going to work for you because it's not genuine and it's not from the heart. And it's easy to tell when it's not from the heart. Change because you know it's the right thing to do and because you want to do better for your child. Because at the end of the day, it's about your child, it's not about you. But you can benefit from making the changes and trying to be a better mother or a better father when it comes to a co parenting relationship. Change because you know you should. That's all. Number four, and I kind of already touched on this when I spoke about children being caught in the middle of what I got going on. Keep your children out of your business. I I loathe seeing parents down talk the other parent in front of the child. Regardless if that's how you feel, why would you do that to them? Do you not realize that just like that child loves you, they also love them too? Why would you sit and bash the other parent in front of the child? Why are you telling the child all the ins and outs of what's going on? Things they don't even need to know. That's childish and that's messy. And you you need to do better. I'll say that. You need to do better. Keep these children out of your business. They should not know everything that's going on. They don't need to know everything that's going on. Why are we subjecting children to adult business unless it's something that they absolutely need to know? A lot of times you do that because you're trying to maneuver the child or manipulate the child into picking your side, into siding with you. Why are children picking sides? There should be no side. These are children. These are babies we're talking about. Keep them out of your business. Oh, number 5, since we just touched on keeping children out of your business, number 5, mind your business. Mind your business. Okay, listen. If it does not directly affect the child, I always stand on the 2 things you should know as a co-parent: where your child is laying their head and who your child is around. If it is outside of that, it don't got nothing to do with you. Why is you worried about what that man is doing in his personal time if your child is not around? Why are you worried about who he's talking to, who he's calling? Do he have somebody? If they're not around your child, mind your business. This also includes giving your child the 3rd degree when they get home, trying to see what they may have overheard, what they know, again, at that point, you are putting your child in a very difficult position because now they are having to betray the trust of the other parent because you don't have enough of your own business that you need to be getting into. So you all up in his business and what he got going on, and vice versa. Same thing goes for men who still trying to figure out what she got going on over there. If it doesn't affect your child, it don't affect you. Mind your business. Mind your business. Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused on what? The one thing that matters here, the well-being of the child. If it has nothing to do with that, it has nothing to do with you because they don't belong to you no more. That's not your man. That's not your lady. Get out their business. Okay? Okay. Number 6. Stop being jealous of your child's relationship with their other parent. The relationship that you have with your child is a relationship that you have with your child. Do you hear how it sounds for you to be jealous because your child is loved by their other parent and the other parent loves them? How are you jealous because your child is receiving more love? That they are excited, that they are joyous to go see the parent, that they love talking to them, that they love being around them. Why would they not? Why would they not? And you're not going to like where I'm going with this next, but I have to say it. This also includes step parents. Ladies, I'm talking to you. Now, I am not talking about step parents that are Cruella de Vil. I'm not talking about step parents who are somehow harming the child, who are manipulating the situation. We're not talking about them. Not talking about them because we know them kind exist. I am talking about the women who are in that man's life and they actually care for and love your child. Remove your ego from the conversation and ask yourself, why do I feel away because my child has more love? You are still that child's mother. That child still loves you. You still love your child. It does not take that away because there's another woman in your child's life who loves and cares for them. You have children with step parents who they take care of them. They really genuinely care for them. They love them. They want to make sure they're okay. The child likes them. Everything is good, but you are so deep in your feelings because you can't wrap your brain around the fact that there's another woman in that child's life and it bothers you. And I will always stand on this because I have a stepmother. I don't even call her. I removed the step a long time ago. That's also my mom. I have another mom, and she has been in my life since I was 10 years old. And she has loved me since I was 10 years old. I am now 30. We are 20 years in this thing. That is my best friend. I can't imagine denying my daughter or my sons that kind of love in addition to the love that I also offer them. What kind of parent would I be? I appreciate the fact that they have, we always say it takes a village, but you don't like the fact that someone else has stepped in to also help and provide support and relief for your child. Again, that is ego, that is pride, and that is selfishness, and it needs to be removed. Surely you didn't think that when the two of you decided to go your separate ways, they were never going to have anybody again. Surely at some point, hopefully, you also have someone and you would also want them to be accepted. So choose your battles. That's not one of them. That is not one of them. If your child is happy, you should be happy and get out of the way. That's all. Number 7, boundaries. Set them for yourself and also honor theirs. Do not be texting and calling that man's phone at all hours of the night because you feel like you can. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be respectful. A lot of times, because see, I be knowing some of y'all do that because you feel like you can, because you feel like a part of that person still belongs to you. It don't. It don't. Keep it respectful. Keep it between a certain amount of hours. And on the flip side, if you're the one that's being texted all hours of the night, set a boundary and stand on it. Stand on it. Let it be known. Listen, out of respect for me, please do not text me after a certain amount of time unless it's an emergency. If they continue to text you, don't respond. You don't have to get into an argument. Y'all don't have to fuss and fight. In my opinion, arguments should happen like no percent of the time. Because I'm not about to argue with you. I am argued out. You will not get an argument out of me if you paid me to. Say what you got to say and be done with it. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. And look, this is what I need you to do. If you're not going to honor it, then I'm just not going to respond to you. It's really just that simple. This also pertains to the home. If you don't want them knocking at your door at all hours of the night, or if you want them to call before they come, state that. Vice versa. Don't be going to that man's house knocking on his door at all times of night. You don't know who over there. He don't even know you coming. You just pop up. You don't just pop up at nobody's house. Call first, set boundaries, and stand on them. That way, both sides know and understand what it is and what it is not. There could be no room for confusion. Now, if boundaries are now being overstepped, then that's a different conversation. But set them to begin with. A lot of times it's too loose. It's just a lot going on. They can come and go when they want to. You come and go when you want to, and it just gets messy. Remove the mess as much as possible. And you can do that by also setting boundaries and sticking to them and having just as much respect for his boundaries as you would want him to have for yours. All right. Number 8, before my bonus tip, is prayer. I think a lot of us absolutely underestimate the power of prayer and allowing the Most High to move in your life and in these situations, including your co parent relationships. I cannot tell you the amount of times I have had to take certain things that I've struggled with, even in co parenting, to the feet of the Father and just prayed about it because either I felt like I wasn't equipped to handle a situation or things weren't going the way that I needed them to, or I felt like it was the best way for them to go. And I prayed about it. And when I tell you that I think just about every last issue and situation when it comes to co-parenting that I have prayed on, they no longer exist. I do not have any of the issues that I used to have in the past because I took it to him. It was too big for me. I have to lay this at your feet. I don't know what to do with this. I need you to help. I need you to step in. I don't know what else to do here. He has made a way every single time to where my co-parenting relationship is a lot smoother. There's a lot more communication. Things flow a lot, but it's just, you can't tell me that my prayers have not been answered. And I think that because we get so lost in our own emotions and our own feelings and what's going on, that we forget that we have another option and that the first option, what we should have did first, we tend to skip that, which is why I wanted to make sure that I put it at the end because though, yes, you absolutely do need to work on yourself, do not forget to also call on the Father for help when you need it because He will turn a situation around. And I felt like because that's really what was in my heart and that's really what I wanted to happen, He did it for me. So do not forget to pray about these situations that you are going through. Please. Please. So at the end of my notes, I actually left you guys a little note that I wrote for you guys. So I'm going to read it. I will leave you with what my dad always said to me. You just do what it is you're supposed to do. Do what you're supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, nobody can make you do or say anything. You have to decide within yourself to live by a certain standard of character. and decide the type of person that you want to be. Because again, you will have to answer for the decisions that you made, who you affected, and how you chose to move in situations. You have to answer for you. You can't go through life pointing the finger at everybody else. And on this channel, we're going to talk a lot about not operating in a state of victimhood. What somebody says to me can't make me say or do anything. I have built and I'm still building up a certain level of self control that no matter what it is you say to me and how you respond, I've set my level of character. I have set what I will do. I've set what I won't do. I've set the amount of anger, the amount of frustration, the amount of sadness. You will not shake and or stir me because I have decided within myself who I am, how I'm going to present myself, and the level of conduct that I want to exude to the world. I did that for me. But in doing that for me, I benefit, my children benefit, their father benefits because I set a standard for myself. You have to be able to do that for you. I really, really hope that these tips helps. I hope that it gave you guys some things to think about. I really am curious to see, what you took away from it, what you would add if you are a co-parent, what has helped. If I didn't hit on something, what are you struggling with? Let's start having these conversations because we are parents and our children need us to be operating at our best and they need us to not stand in the way of giving them what it is that they need. I cannot allow myself to be the reason why my child or my children, my sons and my daughter could not be the best version of themselves because it's something that I robbed them of because I was being selfish or because I couldn't get my emotions under control. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. These babies need us to be adults. They need us to be the bigger person. They need us to learn how to communicate so we can teach them how to communicate. How can we teach them how to navigate their emotions when we can't at our big ages navigate our emotions? We have to do better because I don't like what I am seeing. um but again, I really hope this video helps. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys thought, or if there's anything else regarding this topic that you guys would like to see from me. Please do not hesitate to let me know. This channel is for all of you and I pray it made an impact, and I will see you guys on the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Stick around for a while. I got a lot planned for you. Have a good one, guys. Bye.